HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
A family island community is in despair as 2 local fishermen are missing at sea. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis with the Bahamas Tonight weekend. Thanks for tuning in. The news coming out of Eleuthera is not good this evening, but family members are holding out and hoping 2 fishermen from the Hatchet Bay community will show up alive after their vessel capsized in rough waters earlier today. The 2 apparently were not able to connect with 3 others who made it to shore following that incident. Officer in charge of the Eleuthera District Superintendent Ismella Davis gave ZNS News this update on the missing fishermen.
Sometime after 10, the police would have received information that 5 young men would have left the Hatchet Bay area on board of a boat to go fishing. Sometime during their expedition, they encountered bad weather, which resulted in the boat capsizing. The information is that 3 of them were able to swim to shore. 2 are unaccounted for at this time. We're still experiencing some very bad weather with rip currents and heavy waves. So at this time, we are unable to indicate whether those 2 persons are where they are. Search teams are being mobilized as we speak. Well, family members are gathered around. We're just basically here, just gathering around. We're in a wait-and-see position at this point. The local pastors are here also to provide the support, and we have team from Ministry of Health and also on standby.
In other news this Sunday, the governing Progressive Liberal Party taking an internal look as the party prepares to mark 1 year in office since the May 7th general elections. And contrary to what others may think, Prime Minister Perry Christie says his government has made some considerable headway since that landslide victory at the polls. He also chastised party members and supporters whom he says may have become weak in the face of adversity. Charisma Robinson attended that service and has the details.
Prime Minister Perry Christie did not mince words when he spoke to members of the Progressive Liberal Party as they reflected on 1 year of governance. The Christie administration has faced heavy criticism since taking office on issues of crime, jobs, and the economy to the illegal gambling issue.
Some of you seem to get weak-kneed. Clarence Bain spoke about weak-kneed Negroes. I ask our people in here, do you think God took us into Elizabeth, the general election, the by-election in North Abaco, and then will forget us? Do you really believe that?
As he sought to reignite their spirits, Prime Minister Christie told party members and supporters that they cannot become their own worst enemy.
People who come to you personally and say, you ain't give me this. And you ain't give me that. And you saw them as leaders. You saw them shoulder to shoulder with you. And they're not in here today because you ain't give it to them when they wanted it.
Other than the party's internal woes, the Prime Minister said that headway is being made on the national level when it comes to job creation promised in his party's Charter for Governance.
Things are happening in Grand Bahama. Not fast enough for many people, but they're happening. And people who expected it to happen in the first year will have get used to the idea that between now and Christmas, what they expected in the first year can happen. I can tell them that. Right? The construction in Grand Bahama, that will be a big release and opening a new hotel, is about ready to commence. These things will happen. And that Charter for Governance indicated what we would do in 5 years. Not in 6 months, not in 9 months, not even in a year. What we would do in 5 years for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Faith United Baptist Church Senior Pastor Reverend Dr. William Thompson encouraged members of the party to continue to support their leader.
And I want you to understand what he's going through. He wants to see every Bahamian on the job. He wants to see that. That's why he works as hard as he does. He wants to see that. So let's keep working together. Let's keep working together. It's going to happen. Look at me, look at me. It's going to happen.
Charisma Robinson, ZNS Network News.
The Prime Minister also defended his government's move to fully implement a national health insurance scheme in this country. The opposition has criticized the move, claiming that it would be cost prohibitive.
Do not allow those who have always been against you to frame the debate in this country for you. Last time we said we were going to give national health insurance, and we listened to the debate out there. Said it can't happen, it's nonsense. Not this time. Walk into the Princess Margaret Hospital, go to all of the quote-unquote public wards, and recognize that the people who are there, in the main, are people who support you. But also recognize that they cannot afford the specialist care. And when things like that are required, and they can't afford it.
PLP Chairman Emeritus Arrington Minky Isaacs also urged PLP members of Parliament not to neglect their constituents, even though this year has been long and trying.
No, our leader knows it's been a long year, a trying year for some of our MPs and our supporters. Call has always come. Ain't nothing happened for us. You hear that all over the place. I ain't got no job. Some of the MPs scared to walk in their constituencies because of that. But no matter how bad it is, y'all MPs, keep close to your people. If you stick with your people in the time of trouble, when the harvest comes, you'll be right there and they'll be rejoicing with you. Mark my word.
Some major changes on tap for the country's civil aviation industry. For example, the management and operations of the airports in the Bahamas will move under an airport authority and out of the Department of Civil Aviation. The investigation of aviation accidents will now come under an autonomous agency. The initiatives are designed to take the aviation sector to the highest level in terms of safety, efficiency, and modernization, and will be implemented in short order. Minister of Transport and Aviation Gladys Hannah Martin says there will also be a structural and fundamental changes.
Airports nationwide are about to be reviewed and assessed on a number of levels, including economic self-sufficiency, energy and environmental sustainability and efficiency. Advertisements will soon run in our daily newspapers for trainee air traffic controllers to reinforce and supplement the cadre of controllers we now have in place. We are also in the process of acquiring security equipment and screening machines for airports throughout the country. And many airports are poised to undergo major infrastructural works.
Now, issues relating to the country's airspace will also be getting attention as the aviation industry moves in a new direction.
I have had the privilege of meeting recently with the FAA in Washington to discuss a spectrum of issues of mutual importance to our countries, including the much long talked about flight information region relative to the management of our airspace. We expect to begin those discussions very soon. But in the meantime, we are committed to do what has to be done to not only help the Bahamas play catch-up, but to position itself or herself as a cutting-edge aviation state. That is our objective. Catch-up will be going full force.
And still to come, a special taste of the Jamaican culture right here at home. That story and more coming up.